Hello, everybody. Welcome to CSO Executive Sessions. I'm Kirat Attar, Associate Editor at Foundry, and I will be your host for this episode. Our guest today is Charanjit Bhatia, Head of Cybersecurity and Center of Excellence at Bata Brands. Charanjit, thank you so much for sitting down with us for this interview. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Can you tell us a little bit about Bata and your role and responsibility as the Head of Cybersecurity and Center of Excellence for the organization?
Yeah, yeah. I'm heading the Cybersecurity Center of Excellence since 2020 for Bata, and this was primarily set up for uh, going through the governance, risk, and compliance for all the group. Uh, and this is set up for 25 or 30 countries where we have major presence. Primary reason for that is to ensure that we have a robust policy. Then we have the risk mitigations being carried out based on the gaps, technical gaps which are being observed, and a continuous follow-up on the risk is always there so that we can get to know what are the risks which have been closed or remediated fully, and some of the things which are evolving in the market also we need to ensure that they are being addressed timely for us.
That makes sense. The brand Bata is very well renowned, especially in India, for its quality and excellence, probably since the beginning. How do you uphold the same principles of excellence on the cybersecurity front? And what are the technologies and practices that you've been integrating in your efforts that have helped you in that regard?
Yes, yes. So there have been number of initiatives which we have performed to excel in this field because this cybersecurity is a growing and evolving field. So
Absolutely.
we need to be aware of what are the things which are already there, which our competitors are doing. What are the best practices in cybersecurity? So we need to be always upfront. We need to be evolving as per the expectations of the industry, as per the global practices. And as
Yeah.
part of that, we have chosen to adopt some standards which will be helpful for the other organization at by and large. So one size doesn't fit all, and same is the story that we have multiple presence in multiple countries, and the dynamics is also that the resources are not equal. So there may be variation of the resources for a bigger country, which is more generating in profitability. There will be more IT resources and security resources. For the countries which are having a lesser presence, there would be subsequently a reduction in the people or the resource count as such. So this is one challenge at a global level, but we are trying to address those challenges with the help of global technologies and solutions which we can impart as uniformity and a singular view to check what is going on and where. So as part of that, we have multiple things or initiatives which we have done in the past, something like creating the Global Center of Excellence for the Security Operations Center, so that we can get all the notification and identification, timely identification of any malicious activity across the world with the help of the SOC team. And they are the initial point of contact 24/7. They are the ones who are letting us know where the risks are, what are the incidents or possible things, and how to mitigate them as a first. And the second part is we need to adopt the global things, the best in the class in security. So it can range from endpoint security, network security, cloud security, application security. So we adopt a defense in depth kind of approach wherein every aspect of security is being deeply looked in and ensure that the policies are aligned accordingly so that we are having a good balance between business as well as security. So that has to be properly aligned and
Cool.
communicated equally to both business users as well as to the IT stakeholders who will be managing this. So that's how we are viewing this around, and we are happy to see that whenever we are doing the benchmark assessment or comparative
Yeah.
analysis, we are doing a consistent score.
Makes sense. Given that customers have placed so much faith on Bata products and have also patronized the brand so much through the era of, when people used to go to the stores and purchase, and now also in the e-commerce era, When you have so many customers and you're also getting the data from them when they make purchases at your store, how does Bata as a brand ensure the security of the customer's personal and financial data, which is very sensitive?
So we are not only dealing with a brick and mortar kind of thing, wherein we have a point of sale stores for the retail customers. We are also dealing with e-commerce, wherein the younger segment or the more educated people are now going with the e-commerce kind of setup, which is easily accessible with digital media like the laptop, desktop, and even a mobile phone, etc.
Yeah.
All the convenience to our users so that they can leverage our platform but in multiple ways, and they can pick and shortlist the things which are fitting to their desires and sizes. So that's how we are looking into that. Uh, when we talk about the security of the customers on personal and financial area, so on the financial part, what we do is predominantly we are not a PCI DSS kind of thing. So we outsource this to our third-party providers who are
Okay.
the client and ask them to share the audit reports, etc., whatever is being done from their side. But they are also being equally responsible, held responsible with the help of the contractual obligations which we have with them, so that the confidentiality clause and the disclosure, etc., and technical controls are being properly taken care by them for us. So
Yeah.
how we take care of the financial information on the e-commerce platform from the third-party point of view. For the point of sale applications, which are predominantly on the cloud or on-premise, what we have done is we have woven a application security firewall kind of framework, which is a cloud-based framework for all the applications. And any kind of attack is which is being initiated by attackers, they like who are stopped in that kind of attack, is being mitigated at the WAF layer itself. If we have any DDoS kind of attack, which is very commonly found in retail segment, that has also been taken care with the help of this kind of solution. Then we have the more advanced, sophisticated skimming kind of attack or bot attack, wherein malicious Java script folders are being requesting the access.
Yeah.
And these access are being done with the help of zombie devices, which is very hard to diagnose. But we are with the help of AI and ML kind of thing. We leverage the malicious activity, we do some kind of rate limiting, challenging, etc., and then only allow the humans to access to our card, etc. So these are some of the measures at the application level which we have done, and it has been really wonderful that we are seeing that literally the attacks have stopped now at a very, very high level.
Did they happen at a high frequency? Is that something that attackers do? Because I assume that they would want to attack more technology stronghold sort of companies, but do they also make attacks on retail brands more frequently?
Yeah, these attacks, DDoS attacks were less evident. Possibly it was we were facing last to last year something like slow and low kind of attack, but that was already taken care with the new advanced solution which we have.
Okay.
Apart from them, we also have the bot attacks, which was actually when we do some kind of campaign like a Black Friday sale. We put it for the customers for a specific period of time. These articles are being taken out, so but they are not the real beneficiary. Our customers who are loyal to us. So that was a one big area of challenge for us, trying to fine tune the solution, identifying where the problem is, and then pinpointing the resolution. So this was a challenging task uh,
Mm.
for us.
Understood. Uh, so a very critical part of running a successful brand with products is also that a supply chain works seamlessly to deliver people what they need, the products, the designs, and when they need it. What does Bata do to ensure that its supply chain partners adhere to strong cybersecurity practices? And how do you manage potential vulnerabilities in the supply chain? Uh, Also, additionally, are you exploring AI's potential to augment your cybersecurity defenses?
Correct. So supply chain is really an important area wherein we get to know how the suppliers are being, how we communicate with the suppliers securely, and how the suppliers are also ensuring that the materials are being sent in on time to us. So it has to be done with a secure platform or application for which the communication is built in. It's not just an email, etc., kind
Yeah.
of thing, which we are sending it on mail, etc. So we have built in some application through which the suppliers are able to see what kind of orders they is been put in, and where it has to be dispatched to multiple factories, etc. From the factories, again, once the articles are being built in, then they have to be dispatched to our warehouses. From the warehouses, it has to be dispatched to the retail stores or to the e-com platform or the marketplaces where we have multiple collaborations taking place. So we can see that we are collaborating on a B2B and B2C kind of channels. It all has to be encrypted, fine-tuned so that uh, we have the safety mechanisms in place. So we do a check-in mechanism internally with help of applications, inventory, etc. And that is the way we are being adopting it as of now.
That makes a lot of sense. And any new AI initiatives that have been this, I mean, of course, it's not just a buzzword. If there is applicability to your particular use case, then I guess that would be something that you do, right?
Yes. So we have recently gone with a trial with OpenAI kind of thing, wherein we are checking with some trial thing for voice of store, wherein the
Well,
store to communicate in easy language. What are the issues? What are the things which wherein they need help? And this engine will be asking that information, and then we'll be defining the data. So it's on a initial data learning kind of stage or phase,
yeah.
and intelligence has been done based on that. What we can see that limited set of users will have a limited access on this kind of platform based on least privileges function. Apart from that, it is a segregated network with some test or dummy data, which is bare minimum required for this kind of thing. So that's how we are being doing it, trying to do it, but it's still at a very, very early stage.
Charanjit, that brings me to my final question of the interview. And I'm sure it's a topic that you must also think about a lot as well, being the head of cybersecurity of the company. That there are so many new brands entering the Indian market. You know, it is not as sparse as it was in years prior. Especially because I also remember that Bata was a very, very significant brand, but now, while still significant, there is a lot of competition. With all this competition and all the diverse styles that are out there, how does Bata plan to stay one step ahead of the competition? And what role does the company's technological infrastructure have to play in this?
Yeah, yeah. So company's infrastructure is the core wherein all the platform, application, etc. has been built in. And we need to ensure that proper backup of the application is being taken care by the personnel's backup restoration drills are being there. We need to have the ITDR set up for all the critical applications which are being conducted for time to time, and the report has to be shared in with the audience. We also need to ensure that the vulnerability of or the patching part is being addressed periodically as and when it is being listed by the OEM with the critical ratings, etc., so that timely action can be taken and we don't lose out later on. So all those things are there. Apart from that, the admin credential access also has to be checked in, wherein we have the multi-factor authentication enabled for most of the users. And apart from that, we are also doing the access rights review for the users. So all these things, along with the account taker kind of activity, if any kind of attack is even happening at an MFA layer, we'll get an alert and remediation, etc. being done. So that kind of advanced things are being done and taken care at the authentication level. At the backup layer, we have already described. Uh, at the application level also, the web application firewall is playing its own role. So all the like security points, endpoint security, network security, we have the cloud security, we have the application security, we have the data security also, wherein the encryption of the critical data is being addressed. Data is being at rest, at motion, etc., so that no man in the middle attack happens. Encryption at rest will help us to ensure that only the genuine users will be able to access the database with limited access. So these are the multiple layers of defense which we incorporate in our solutions, in our practice, in our processes, so that we are staying resilient with the consistent and evolving threats which are throughout the environment running to us. So that's how I will try to quickly describe this thing. Talking about the competition, we also not only do our internal due diligence with respect to process, policies, security, etc.
Yeah.
Some benchmarking assessment wherein we check our internet-facing applications if they are vulnerable or not from the third-party view, or which is a continuous kind of validation. And also we do an internal security check for all our existing solutions with the offensive attack simulation, so that we can check whether we can rely on them or not. So that includes previous attack simulations also, as well as zero-day attacks, which we are trying to pass on to the test systems and see how they are faring it. If there is any breach or violation, we immediately check with our OEM suppliers and partners about it and see if we can make a solution on that. So that is one area. On the competition part, when we do the scanning for the internet facing, we do get some scoring and some ratings also on the risks or the vulnerabilities which are there. So again, we plan with our internal teams for the timely closure and ensure that they are being addressed on time with the help of our internal teams and third-party suppliers who are vital part of this.
Thank you so much, Charanjit, for that actually very informative and detailed response. That brings me to the end of this interview. Charanjit, thank you so much for sitting down with us and having a frank and honest discussion about your cybersecurity practices and what you believe is integral for a brand as big as Bata to stay ahead of the curve, to stay on top of the game in an uber competitive environment such as the one we have today, and everything that you're doing to strengthen the often invisible backend of the brand so that it looks seamless and customer friendly to your customers of all age groups, in fact, which is a very it's a commendable practice that you've taken on. Thank you so much for having this conversation, and kudos to all the good work you've been doing so far.
Sure. Thank you, Kirat. It was excellent talking with you and sharing my experience. I wish you a very good day ahead, and I hope listeners will listen to us and will proactively work for it. Thanks.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much to our viewers for watching. Until next time, this is Kirat Attar signing off from another episode of CSO Executive Sessions.